Hi, this is Dieter for SiteManager.io. In this video, we're going to create our database from scratch. So the techniques you learn here, you can also use if you install a plug and play database to tweak it and change it however you like. But the best way to learn it is to build a database from scratch. Before we start, make sure you have databases installed in the dashboard. So you have to add premium modules and add databases. We already did that, so we're going to log in and also make sure that you are a developer, so you have developer access to the project. Otherwise, you will not be able to create a database from scratch. So this is the example that we built before. There's already a block database that we installed in a previous video. We're going to the developer, and as you can see, we have database modules and the database components. We're gonna not install a database, we're gonna add a database from scratch. So what kind of database are we going to make? We're gonna build a very simple one. We're going to make a team database with the main category being the job function of the team member, our property filter published, on off, yeah, we're gonna use that one, and field order, we're not gonna list our people by date added, but we're gonna add an order for name, so we're gonna use the name of the person to order the list. We could also excuse me, we could also use function, the job function. You can add anything you like, and you can add multiples, as you will see later. When you're done with setup, you click add database, and that's how easy the database has been added to your project. A little tip: if you want to go to a database, you can simply click here and you will see all your databases here. If we go to team, it's empty, there's nothing in there, so I can show you that. So when I go to team, there's nothing here, but there's also no item found, so we cannot add any entry to this database. So the first thing we're gonna need to do is create a database component, which is basically something that will add an entry to the database. It works very similar to page components, almost exactly the same way. So if you don't know how to build page components, I highly suggest you watch those videos, because with that information, it will be a lot easier to follow along with database components, because I'm gonna go a lot faster than I did when I explained page components. So we click database components. We already see that the blog article that we installed from a previous video is here, but now we're gonna add a team member to our database. So we add the component. It's very important that when we click the edit code that we select the team database, because default it will always take the first database, and we obviously want to have it as a team database. So we're gonna build our form, and we're gonna add in our team member structure, single item, and what kind of input fields are we going to add. So let's see, we'll need a name. So we're gonna ask for a name. It's okay. And let's add a picture. And we want that picture to have a portrait mode. So we're gonna allow JPEG, PNGs, and we're gonna make sure that the image gets cropped into these dimensions. So we click save. What else are we going to need? So let's ask for a biography or something. We're gonna make it very, very simple. Obviously you can build more complex structures than the one I am building right now, but this is just to give you an idea how databases work. So now we have all our input fields that we are going to use, and we're gonna go to our code editor, and we're gonna ask for the variables. And this is the code that we create here is the code that will be used or shown in the detail page of the database. So we're going to add a database list later. So this is just to show you how we can build a detail page. So we're going to add our header. We're going to add our name as, where is it? Here, the variable for our name. We're going to add the text. And we're going to use text here. Right. Yeah, maybe let's add the image. Or yeah, let's use the image as well. So we're going to use the image in the database list for sure, but we can also add it here. So this is the variable that's being created. We no longer need this code. So this is, as you can see, very, very basic, but there are a couple of things I want to show you. These variables are already explained in previous videos, but this is a new one, database variables that you can add to a detail list. You can add a link that goes back to the list. So let's create one. So we want him to go back to the list that he came from. Maybe let's add class this button. You can also add links to the next and previous article using these links variables, the same way we do for the return button. So we click save. That's how easy it is to build a database entry. We can add design panels just as we can do with page components. So I'm just gonna make a very simple one where we can style the text property from the text that we added. We're gonna add this panel. It's a CSS panel. We're gonna make it start. Okay, so that's just one panel. Obviously you make more complex structures with it, but that's how easy it is. It's similar, it's the very same way as building page components. So if you know how to do that, this should be very easy for you. Once again, if I'm going really fast and you're not really sure what's going on, I highly suggest you watch the page component videos or read up in our knowledge base how it works. But basically we just built a form that's going to ask for these variables, and it's gonna render this HTML code that we just created. So you can add CSS or JavaScript as well, but we're not gonna do it here. So yeah, to show you how it works, maybe we can already go to our team database. So as you can see, our database is still empty, but we can start adding team members. The component that we just created, we can start adding it to the database. But first, before we do that, I'm going to talk about these three buttons here. So you can change and edit your categories, your filters, and add or change your order list fields. So we're going to start with categories. So as you know, when we set up, we added the job function category, but we can add more categories or start creating subcategories. So we're going to add front-end developer. We're going to hyphen here. Let's add backend developer, graphic designer, copywriter, and project manager. All right, and we can add multiple subcategories and subcategories, so we can go as deep as we want, but in this example this is all that we're going to add. We can add and edit filters. So we added the published filter. We can add as many filters as we like. We're going to go back to filters in a later video, because you can also use other databases or the same database to make filters. But as I said, we're going to explain that a little bit later. And your list fields, these are the fields that you use for ordering your query in the database list. So we are now ordering our team members by name, but if we would, for example, also want to make a list where we order our team members by job function, we would add job function and a text field, or date added, etc., etc. So you have three types of input fields that you can choose from. You can ask for a text field or a number field, and of course a date field. So you can update it afterwards or delete it, but in this example we're going to work with our name as main order. So without further ado, let's add our first team member to our small little database that we added. So first it will ask for the setup. So who are we going to add? We're going to add a copywriter, and we're going to say it's John Doe, and his name is John Doe. All right, so here you can see that we are gonna add the information. We're gonna upload a file here. So we're gonna crop the picture in the correct dimensions and click save. All right, and we're gonna add some lorem ipsum for the biography. I'm just gonna copy paste some copy here and click save, and that's how you will edit your database entries, the same way as you would do with any kind of page component. So when we return to our database, you will see that we have our first member, John Doe, and I'm now gonna speed up the video a little bit and make 3 copies with 3 other team members. So now that we have created 3 examples, we're gonna add a new page component to generate the list of our team, because if we go to our CMS right now, there's no way we can see the database input that we have done. So we're gonna take care of that and go back to our developer. And now we're gonna click page component. This is very important that we're not gonna make a database component. We're gonna add a component that will be added to a page and render the list of our team members. So we're gonna create a new page component, call it team list. All right, and we're gonna add some a database lists. You select this input here. This will be available when you install databases. You will be able to have a new input component known as database list. So we're gonna add it right here. Click on it to set up. We're gonna set it to the database team. Click save. And now we're gonna click auto create variables, and we're gonna add some code from the team member, and we're gonna click add code below. And now it spits out all the variables that are available to use in our list. So in our list, we're gonna create a bootstrap column of 4. So the Site Manager design framework uses Bootstrap 4 framework. So if you're not familiar with Bootstrap, you can go to the website. I think it's called getbootstrap.com and see all the documentation of how it works. But I think most people know this type of responsive framework. So as you can see, I'm using the style function. This is a design class that we use for tiles, so it's already styled, so we don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna add, I'm gonna add an image. So we're gonna take our picture here, like so. And I am going to add the name of the person, which is here. And now, very important, we're gonna add a link. We're gonna add a link to the detail page of the team member. So this is a special variable that we can find here. It's called database detailing. So we're gonna copy paste it into the href from our button. We can remove the variables that we no longer need. We don't have to use all of them. So we're gonna click save. As you can see, it's also possible to generate a list instead of creating a dynamic query by using the big database entries manually. This means that you can just start picking entries instead of sorting them by name or category and filters. We're not gonna use that here, but we're gonna use it in a later video. So this is okay, and now we're gonna go to the code editor of our component. Once again, we're gonna create override codes to create a clean structure. So we're gonna add it in a row, like so. So this is all correct. Maybe we can add another design panel like we did for the detail page. So I'm gonna add text properties for the team name that we added to our tiles. So it was team name, I guess. All right, add the panel, set to start. I'm gonna show you how this works a little later on. But for now, we have created our team list component. Let's use it into our CMS. And let's add a new page to our website, our team page. So go to page management, team, all right. And let's add it here. All right. All right, so now we go to our team page. As you can see, it's empty. And we are going to click search our team list that we built. So here you find the component and we're gonna drop it here. It's gonna ask for setup. So we're gonna show everybody with a job function who is published, and we're gonna order by name, and we're gonna show all of the entries, and the database page is referenced to the team page. So we click save. As you can see, our 3 database entries are shown here, so you can add more team members or go to the team database by clicking this button. So let's quickly go to the design editor and watch the design panels that we added. So we added just a simple singular design panel for the name in our tile. So when we click it, we can change the line height maybe because it's a bit close to each other. So this is what we can do, but we can add any style design library to this component that we like. We can also copy design libraries. So if you already have a component that has a lot of similar design panels, you just simply copy the entire design panel to another component. Very important. So when you click on the read bio, we go to the detail page. We also added one for the text here. So maybe we can change font family. Yeah, so we can do whatever we want and create anything we like. This is the detail page. This is obviously for designers. So we can publish our website. Now we'll see the results of our work. So So when we go to the team page, click create bio, click the return button. So it's very simple to build a database structure as a basic format, but you can do very complex things with it. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please contact us as always. And if you don't have a SiteManager account and want to try it out for free, you can go to sitemanager.io.